Chapter 28. As you've just heard me say, it is now currently Chapter 28. And we start with these people who have been brought up to and selectively handpicked to learn the true meaning, the ultimate question, the answer to the greatest question.
Right. Yeah. And they've just heard the answer, which is, of course, 42.
And they're like, well, frick. We're gonna get lynched, aren't we? Yeah, and they're just like, it's 7.5 million years. And then Poochug is like, well, I guess that's just the question. it's everything.
Yeah, but Deep Thought's like, the problem is you don't know the question.
Yeah, you don't know the actual question instead of the actual, like, well...
Yeah, like he just found the answer, but they didn't actually ask the question. They just wanted the answer to the question that they didn't ask.
Yeah, Deep Thought was like, well, I'll just make you design you a robot or computer that can compute the answer, the question even.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, so like it'll make sense if we have the question.
Right,
So what's the question? And Deep Thought's like, I don't know. I'm not smart enough to figure that out. Let me make you something that is.
Yeah, and it was like, it needs to be so subtle and nuanced, it needs organic parts as its main components.
Mm-hmm. And
then suddenly, Deep Thought was like, and it should be called the Earth. What's a dull name, he said. And it's not that terrible of a name. Better than, like, Uranus.
Yeah, but I think part of the joke is that they have, like, silly sounding names like Loonwall and
Poochug.
And
Slotty Bartfast. Well, not currently, but yeah. Like all of the names we've heard.
Yeah, so like Earth is kind of plain. Like,
yeah, and they have been telling us previously in previous chapters about like the Google Hyperplex capacitor or something and stuff like that. So it is quite a starking contrast. But then the entire like room falls apart, and then
oh yeah, particularly for like all the names of like the fancy computers.
Yeah, as well.
Yeah, like Earth maybe be okay as a planet name, but they're thinking of it as this amazing computer.
Yeah, right.
Is being designed, and they all have like these big like egotistical sort of names.
Yeah, I mean it's just for the one that's meant to find the ultimate question, it's just a 5-letter word.
Yeah.
But yeah, then suddenly like the entire room falls apart, and Slotty Bartfast just goes, end of tape.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where that chapter ends.
Yeah. Oh, shortly before the world falls apart, though, I did notice it was saying that Deep Thought said to them that you shall take new forms and go down into the computer.
Oh yeah.
Which is like just like confirming that like what we already kind of knew was the beings which designed this whole thing are like now in the form of mice.
Right. Yeah.
And that the computer is Earth.
Yeah.
But yeah, it crumbles, and that's basically the end of the Sensotape records and the end of...
Chapter 28?